From the moment she was born, the little girl moved at the speed of light. This led to a misdiagnosis of congenital epilepsy. From her perspective, however, it was her parents who seemed to be standing still, as if time itself had frozen around her. Because she operated on a completely different frequency, direct communication was impossible. Laura had to write notes to express herself. Her parents would then see the notes and slowly write their replies on a small chalkboard. But even a simple greeting took ages. Laura would often have to wait until she woke up from a nap for her mother to finish writing a single sentence. This kind of communication was incredibly frustrating, like talking to a friend on a phone call with a massive delay. Laura desperately wanted to communicate with her parents like a normal person. Finally, she came up with a workable solution. She had her parents read a letter aloud 20 times. By observing their speed, she could then consciously slow down her own hearing and speech. Eventually, Laura managed to slow her own perception and speech by a factor of 20, finally syncing up with her parents' frequency. They heard her voice for the first time and were overjoyed, pulling her into a tight embrace. 10 years passed and Laura grew into a young woman. In her mind, it wasn't that she was too fast, it was everyone else who was too slow. When she worked, her movements were a blur, impossible for others to follow. A job that would normally require 5 people, she could handle effortlessly on her own. She eventually got a job at a burger joint, much to the delight of her boss. Her work efficiency was many times that of a regular employee, yet he only had to pay her the same wage. One day, a boy nearly 13 feet tall walked into the burger joint. He too was extraordinarily different. He'd been born almost 6 feet tall. His 5'3" mother could barely hold him. Looking at her giant baby, the woman felt utterly helpless. His growth rate was astonishing. Before he was 2, he was already over 6.5 feet. By age 5, he was nearly 10 feet tall. For his own safety, his parents never let him go outside. He could only watch other children playing happily through the window. His only companions were comic books and his cramped little room. Because of his immense size, he frequently damaged the walls of their house. His father was constantly busy making repairs, his heart heavy with worry. They knew that at only 5 years old, their son would continue to grow. This couldn't go on. By the time the boy turned 16, he had reached a towering 13 feet. He'd never been to school, never really been outside. Every day was spent squeezed into their small house, so much so that he eventually broke the doorframe right off his room. To prevent further damage to their home, his parents decided to build him a new, separate room in the backyard. They made it twice the height of a normal house, and even the furniture inside was custom built to his proportions. Finally, he no longer had to sleep on that tiny 6.5-foot bed. Just then, the boy suddenly announced he wanted to go outside and see the world.